Dear colleagues, intumescent cataracts have high intralenticular pressure and it is challenging to do capsulorhexis in such cases. In the following cases, I am going to show how I do capsulorhexis in intumescent cataracts. First, I stain the anterior capsule with trypan blue dye. After staining the capsule, I inject viscoelastic substance and I use only HPMC and no other viscoelastic substance in these cases. So HPMC, hydroxypropyl methyl cellulose, has been injected. 2 side ports, 2 stab incisions are necessary. I go through the side port and incise the capsule like this and make a C-like flap. I hold this flap with the ureter forceps and make a very small rhexis around the anterior pole of the cataract. Now I use a Simcoe cannula to aspirate some superficial lens matter, some cortical fibers. To decrease the intralenticular pressure, this is what I do. The rhexis can resist the pressure that I am imposing on the cataract at this moment. But if it is not a small rhexis, it can go to the periphery at any moment. Now, the intralenticular pressure is decreased. I inject viscoelastic substance again, and again it is HPMC. I make a small cut at the margin of this small rhexis. Use the ureter forceps again, and now I make an optimum sized continuous curvilinear capsulorhexis. That's it. It is done. This is another case. The capsule has been stained and the same C-like flap has been made on the anterior capsule by a cystitome. Ureter forceps is again used to hold this flap, and here I am struggling a bit to make the mini rhexis, but I have been able to do a small rhexis. Now I decrease the intralenticular pressure in this way. I squeeze some superficial lens matter from the equator. I squeeze it out through the mini rhexis opening, and once these lens matter come out, the intralenticular pressure decreases and it becomes a normal situation. It's no longer challenging to the surgeon. The cataract is no longer intumescent. So that's it. Now I inject viscoelastic substance again, and again it is 2% hydroxypropyl methyl cellulose. You take a Vanna scissor and make a small cut like this, and I hold this tag with the ureter forceps and make a continuous curvilinear capsulorhexis. This time it doesn't tend to go to the periphery. In this way we can do capsulorhexis and prevent Argentine flag sign. Now this is another case. The capsule has been stained with trypan blue dye underneath an air bubble. Viscoelastic substance is injected into the antechamber. The air bubble comes out. Now I take the 26 gauge bent cystitome and incise the capsule at the anterior pole like this. Same C-like flap is made, and this kind of flap will not go to the periphery unless it is pressed. Just around the anterior pole of the cataract, a small rhexis has been made. Now I decrease the intralenticular pressure in the same way. We can use the two side ports to use bimanual IA and aspirate the lens matter also. So you need not use the Simcoe cannula. You can use your bimanual IA to aspirate some lens matter and decrease the intralenticular pressure. Once the cortical matter is aspirated, the intralenticular pressure decreases drastically and the situation becomes ordinary. The challenging situation is tamed. I call it taming of the shrew. Now viscoelastic substance, again 2% HPMC is injected. The antechamber is filled up. Vanna scissor is taken and the eyeball is fixed. A small cut is given at the margin of this small rhexis. Ureter forceps is taken, this tag is held and an optimum sized rhexis is performed. So we can do, yes, not only me, all of us can do rhexis in intumescent cataracts using only HPMC, only hydroxypropyl methyl cellulose. Thank you for your attention. Hope this video will be helpful in your practice.